Since 2020, it seems like layoffs and chaos have become the norm in the job market. While most people don't want to accept this, it's no secret that something big is happening right now in our job market. And while I have been observing the job market up close since I was laid off almost a year ago, I've noticed some things that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. And in fact, a lot of people actually believe that the job market is going to go back to the way it was before COVID. And that actually couldn't be further from the truth. Now, we know that there is a lot of pressure on businesses to cut costs right now, and this gives them even more reason to look at replacing their employee roles with AI or new software that uses AI, similar to how we've seen a lot of low-level customer service reps be replaced by chatbots. And this isn't the first time that we've seen financial pressure cause businesses to look for creative ways to cut labor costs. Do you remember the big minimum wage hike that happened a couple years ago in California for fast food workers? At the time, most people thought that this was going to be a good thing for all of the fast food workers in California, but it actually only benefited the workers who managed to keep their jobs. When that minimum wage hike went through, a lot of the restaurants started replacing their cashier employees with self-service kiosks. The fast food industry found a way to use new technology to avoid having to raise their menu prices as much as possible. And a mandate that was intended to benefit these fast food workers actually ended up hurting them more than it helped. And I know that many of you would view what these fast food restaurants did as corporate greed. Optimizing the business to best serve the customer should always be the #1 priority of any business. For businesses that refuse to adapt to new technology like Kodak, Sears, or Blockbuster, all of their employees end up losing their jobs when that company goes out of business anyway. And shifts like these are not going to stop happening in the job market. Because while most manual labor jobs have been unaffected so far, these jobs are soon going to be threatened by the existence of humanoid robots, probably first the Tesla ones. And I know this might sound crazy, but I can confidently say that this is going to come really soon, and in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see hundreds of thousands and possibly millions of jobs eliminated by these mass-produced and publicly accessible humanoid robots. And any strikes like the dock workers union strike we just saw or other financial pressure is just going to accelerate this process. Now, before you push for price caps or government regulation against this sort of innovation, I would recommend that you read a book called Basic Economics, written by Thomas Sowell. While it seems simple to mandate businesses in certain industries not to raise their prices above a certain point, what this actually does is it causes shortages and bankruptcy for a lot of companies in these industries. And in Thomas Sowell's book, there are a lot of examples of this happening in recent history. Also, imagine how much differently our lives would look today if the government had outlawed new technology that replaced jobs in the past, like computers or motorized farming tools. And I'll go even further and say that if you have a problem with corporate greed of any kind or a problem with any company, just download Robinhood and buy some of the stock in that company. I'm tired of hearing people complain about corporate greed when they have the option to benefit from it for just a couple of bucks. So with all of this happening in the job market right now, what can people do if they're not able to find a new job? Well, what's worked for me is to focus instead on learning a new skill that I can use as a freelancer instead of a full-time employee. As a freelancer, I have the ability to become a specialist, and as a result of becoming a specialist, charge a much higher hourly wage than I earned as a full-time employee in a similar industry. Since I committed to taking this approach in January of this year, I've already made more money this year than I did as a full-time employee in 2023. If you want to hear more details about how I make more money now as a freelancer than I ever did before, then click on this video here.